It's the podcast that is 3 from 3 last week on our premiere segment, the Upset Alert. If you were behind in your NRL tipping and you followed us on the Upset Alerts, you might have gone a long way to catching up to your rivals. This is the Down the Sideline podcast, rugby league through the lens of business, media, and how rugby league wins. As always, I'm joined by Manka and Tim. We're remote tonight because Tim is sick and we don't want to catch his lurgy. And I was sick of them, buddy, messing up my podcast studio with the fisherman's friend that they always seem to leave on the thing just to shit me. But that is what you'd expect from these lads. And they know that they did it. And they even giggled about it as they were walking outside of my house last week. I heard them laughing. I'm like, I bet they're laughing about leaving that behind. So on tonight's show, before we get them in, we got Upset Alert again. So we'll touch on that. The Sharks slide continues. Manka's going to make me talk about that. Roosters beating Penrith. Tim's going to again try and manage all expectations and say that the Roosters aren't the favourite. He'll somehow point to the Warriors, but then the Warriors, Luke Metcalf's gone. Panthers without Yeo, they're vulnerable. We'll talk about that too. We'll touch on Newcastle for a bit of time. Tim's going to make us talk about the Dragons as well. We'll talk Disruptors. Who finishes in the 8th spot? Should there even be an 8th spot? I said weeks ago that the NRL should finish after round 22. The last couple of rounds have been a joke. We'll touch on some other stuff. We'll, of course, give you our tips. And the hottest segment in all of NRL Sports Entertainment, Upset Alert, is here. But so is Adrian Manka. Happy with the Knights, mate?
Yeah, really happy, actually. It's always a danger game, but you got to win those games at home. Started really well. Got a bit dicey, but that man, Fletcher Hunt and Fletcher Sharp, or the two mullets, saved the day. So great win and locked us in for finals. How good?
Every game's a danger game as far as you're concerned for the Knights.
Yeah, because I'm not very optimistic in terms of I go into every game a bit half glass empty, but we did what we had to do and we've locked it up. Now let's just get a home final and give it a good push. But look, we've got the attack, lots of strike. So yeah, looking forward to September football after a little while out.
Well, position 1 on the table. Sydney Roosters, or the Sydney Roosters, or whatever you want to call them now. Tim will correct me in a second. 38 points, outright first. Tim Micallef, you cannot play this down anymore.
That was one of the best performances I've seen us put in 5 or 6 years. I'm not going to lie. When we won comps, our defence was unbelievable. And I was just watching the reads the entire game in that squad. And, mate, they were really, really good. Like, don't underestimate how tough that game was. Penrith came to play. And for the first time, us playing them in the last 5 years, I wasn't worried once that they were going to beat us. I just felt like we had them. Now, look, does that mean I think we can beat them in the finals? They're still a bloody good team. They'll sort it out. They've got to adjust with Yeo out and all the rest of it. But we did it without Teddy. We did it without Gus. They'll work it out. They're too good. They'll work it out. And I could still see those two teams still, playing in the grand final. Do I have as favourites? No. I have the Warriors. I think the Warriors. They've done the whole season without Metcalf. Tomorrow Martin will go back in. They'll be fine.
No.
But it was a really good performance for me.
Tell me, Tim, have the Warriors ever won?
No, they haven't.
Okay, and why do you think that is?
Because they haven't had a coach like Andrew Webster that got them committed.
Andrew Webster the last couple of years. Keep going.
No, but he's got them committed to defence, and they're a hard team, mate. Like, no, don't underestimate. Like, forget about the past. He's got a team that's more worried about defence than attack, which never happens at the Warriors. And I think they're an absolute. They're a massive shout for the comp this year. I think they would like to come second. I think it's quite important that they do. I just can't see Penrith losing for the rest of the season.
They're only 10 points behind on the points differential.
I know it's close. Yeah, well, because I think I sent Adrian, or I think I sent both of you a text saying they've only got to score 8 points to get ahead. So look, that'll be touch and go. But
they're going to be kicking penalty goals with 30 seconds to go in matches to get ahead.
Well, it's that close. Yeah.
I've long argued with people about whether for and against is ever important. And I think I worked out it's like 1 in 48 times or something for and against.
Well, you say that, but look at two of the positions this year, right? You've got second and third. Arguably with the Roosters too, because their for and against isn't very good. So you've got 1 to 3. And then your mob, if the Roosters beat the Dolphins and you can actually do what you said they would do and win every game, that win that you put 66 points on the Dolphins becomes huge.
Comes huge. Well, then you've also got the Knights and the Rabbitohs are close in for and against. The Cowboys and the Bulldogs are close in for and against. So it might come back to bite them. All right, Adrian, let's just dig in on this a little bit. I'm just going to remind everyone. NRL or rugby league or Winfield Cup premiership winning teams have always got almost one thing in common, which is they have an absolute gun star halfback, except for 3 times in the past 45 years. Now, that means the Warriors, the odds aren't in their favour, Manka, and it means that Tim's take of Sam Walker's an elite halfback, you could say the Roosters have got 2 elite halfbacks.
You don't think Snell's playing well?
Not like the others. No. Adrian, go. What's your take?
He's definitely not. I don't think there's. I think defense wins comps, and I think the Roosters win over the Panthers on the weekend. They didn't even have Tedesco, and they did that easily against Penrith. And the Warriors, yes, they look good now, but they just don't have the star power to get them across the line. So I think you're right, Boldo. I look at it. I think there's only 2, elite halfbacks that will win the comp. It's either going to be Sam Walker or it's going to be Nathan Cleary. I would say he's playing up to his price tag as being elite.
So
I think him and Cleary. I think if he wins a comp, we can call him elite. He's on his trajectory. But I don't think losing Metcalf is huge for the Warriors.
But they haven't had him all year.
Yeah.
He's played 3 games.
Yeah, but they started to do a little bit of a dip, and you saw him come back inside, and they just had the quality.
One loss against Canterbury, and then they still did it easy the other night.
I don't think the Warriors are a good
Let's go back
shot.
to Tim's take. Hold on, let's go back to Tim's take, Adrian. Back to Tim's take. Controlling you blokes is a lot harder on the damn stream than when I got you in person. Now, Tim, it's an excellent take. You had it early. You said Sam Walker was an elite halfback, and you were a Sam Walker guy. You put it out there. You said you put it out in the ether. Good for you, dude. So, no, your man's coming to prove you right. That's why you're on a rugby league podcast, because you know what you're talking about.
He was very good the other night. Obviously, DCA was the best player on the pitch.
DCA was good.
The other thing that me and my old man spoke about, because we always debrief on a Saturday or Sunday after the Chooks play, Cody Ramsey. When we signed Cody Ramsey at the start of the year, it was one of those ones that just went, all right, good. We got some bloke. What impact is he going to have on this squad, a Rooster squad over a season? He was unreal in that game the other day. He is filled in at fullback, and I actually think we can still win a comp if Teddy's injured. Now, am I saying Cody Ramsey is as good as Teddy? Absolutely not. Teddy's always going to start, and he's, in my view, the best fullback in the game. But wow, not just a story, but he's so quick. He puts the defense in 2 minds, gets outside his play. He works within our system, and credit to him. I thought he had a really, really good game the other night, and he's given us a lot of depth that I never thought we would have. Just from him signing with the club, I didn't think he was that good. So
he was actually quite good for the Dragons before he got injured. So he was actually quite a good up and coming player. And then he had a 1.5 or 2 years off, and they didn't think he was going to play football.
He had the medical issues.
Yeah. So he was actually a really handy player.
But he's not a winger, not in the modern game. He's a fullback, and I thought he played really well. What people don't realise is whatever he came back from, he was saying that the Roosters gave him a special dietitian that specialised in getting people back from that sort of surgery. And he reckons he put on like 5 or 6 kilos that he couldn't put on for the 2 years before, the year before he'd come back. So the Roosters have invested in him, and by God, hasn't he given the Chooks a whole lot back? So
it's paying dividends. So Roosters are looking pretty good, but we'll see how they go when they take on the Panthers. They'll be coming back for them. Now, something that we did touch on, upset alert last week. Adrian, successfully tipped the Eels to beat the Cowboys. Well done. Tim successfully tipped the Sydney Roosters to beat the Panthers. And your dear friend Boldo successfully tipped the St. George Illawarra Dragons to beat the West Tigers. So 3 from 3. So keep an eye out for the upset alert later in the show because we'll take you through our tips this week. I got a good one for you this week. And maybe I'm a little bit biased on what I think is going to happen. All right, look, the big talking point from the weekend, other than the Roosters becoming out-and-out title favourites, guess we've got to talk about it again. The Sharkies lose to the Raiders, despite us or me saying that they were a lock. 2 straight losses outside the 4. No Trindall, Jesse Ramian gone for the season. Confidence at a low. Adrian, what do you want me to make me talk about? Do I have to talk about this?
You have to talk about it because I was just thinking about it over the weekend. I think you jinxed the team. I remember a few podcasts ago, you were sitting there all like a smiley little boy going, you know what? Guess what? We've got the top 4 lock. It's done. The draw is so soft. We're never going to lose a game.
We won't lose a game.
Yeah,
and we always beat
insight. And guess what happened? You lost to the Dragons. And then
but they also beat the West Tigers, who were one of the great teams.
To Tim's point, we never lose to the Raiders, and then you lost. And now
but they also lost
their
star player who got injured in the first 6 minutes.
True. But overconfidence for a Shark fan, I've never heard it, never seen it, and it went completely against you.
And you may never ever see it.
I may never see it ever again. I just think you need to unpack what's gone wrong, and it could be all you.
Well, maybe it is because I do have influence over the Sharks fans with the ET stand pod, and maybe we did get a little bit excited. Look, trains and planes crash because 3 things go wrong, and so a few things have gone wrong for the Sharkies. Obviously, they've never been a club that deals with injuries. We just heard Tim outline how the Roosters have got this backup fullback who's like brilliant and can step in for Tedesco. Sharks are simply not a team that's been able to do that. When they've faced injuries before in these big matches, I remember Todd Carney going down injured, no good. 1999, we lost to the Dragons when Matt Rogers got injured, no good. The Sharks had Braydon Trindall go down in the 6th minute against the Raiders, and they were in it. And look, if not for a centimetre or a millimetre, maybe the Ronaldo try gets awarded. That one was certainly close with the point of the ball curse again, striking down the Sharks when they didn't need it. So that's one issue.
Try, Boldo?
I haven't really bothered to go look at it super closely. The thing is with a ball, right? The balls are, trying to draw it, as an oval. And you can put the ball down so that the end of the ball is not touching the try line. But then if you push the ball down into the grass, then it is touching the try line. And so the Sharks have been done by this a couple of times on this damn point of the ball issue. And one time they had a try disallowed because the referee said, well, I can't see the point of the ball. And I'm like, well, if the outside of the ball's touching the line, then the inside of the ball's got to be inside. And it's got to have touched first because it's an oval. So it seemed to have been done twice on that. I don't know.
It was hard because the on-field decision was no try. And if he had given it you can't overturn it. That was it. That was the issue.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Unlucky, I agree. But yeah,
it was unlucky. And
it was very unlucky.
They put on at 5'8", Hohepa Peru, who was basically playing there. He hasn't had to play 75 minutes for a very long time, and he missed 13 tackles or something like that. They had Fanua Blake not playing. They were a bit of a mess, but I still think the maths holds up, and I think they will win the last 3 remaining games. And I believe the Dolphins will drop one.
Who have you got? Parramatta, Titans,
Melbourne.
Yeah, we've got Titans, Parramatta, and Melbourne. Yeah,
Melbourne last week. Yeah.
I think the worry, Boulder, is if Trindall's out for a while and you're
kind of out for 3 weeks, dislocated shoulder.
You watch, and it could go again in the finals. Though, you get what I mean? Because once it pops, the old Benji curse is watching Nico trying to do everything by himself. He was a fish out of water. He was struggling.
Why Nico's been so good at the back end of this year because Trindall's become the 7. I know he's not wearing it on his back, but that's exactly what's happened. It's freed up Nico to play second receiver. And
he also wasn't able to. He's not great when the forwards get dominated. and they also got dominated again, and they were able to isolate him. So, yeah, and Canberra have been a pretty good team, and they're also still pissed off. So they would have wanted.
They're a funny team, Canberra. They can actually beat anyone on their day.
Yeah, and we only lost by a little bit. So, we've lost 2 games by a couple of points. You play both of those games 20 times, we might win them 10 times out of 20. So,
it
I'm not
might
exactly
actually be good. Thinking about it, getting those 2 losses might not be such a bad thing, though, at this time of year.
Well, I said it last week. The Trent Robinson style coaching teams tend to flog their guys at this point to try and get them to peak in a couple of weeks. I think it's also that they're just a psyche problem that the Sharks have. That they thought that they were finals bound, and now they're just treading water. And they thought they were going to be in the top 4, and they think they're going to play the Roosters or the Panthers, which would be played at Allianz or Combang anyway. So they weren't really that fast, and they've just been a little bit down waiting for it. So now we've copped a few injuries. That's made it even worse. It's on the board that they could even finish 7th, classic Shark style. And
right now, though, if they can make the top 4, which they can only come 4th, they could play any one of the top 3. And you wouldn't want the Warriors away, I'll tell you.
No, the Sharkies would probably not want the Warriors away, but that would need the Warriors would have to be minor premiers, which is not going to happen.
Yeah. Mate, you don't think the Warriors
can still be minor premiers? Well, you had them as a lock. Having said that, goodness me, the Panthers have fallen off a cliff. Isn't that incredible?
How many have they lost recently? They've lost, not badly, but they've lost, 4 of their last, 8 or something like that?
Let's go check out that Panthers form. We'll skip. We've chatted enough on Roosters for you, Tim. I'm skipping that segment.
Its starts haven't been great, and you actually realise how important Yeo is to that team. Surprisingly,
well, just their structures, right?
Yeo's important, but he's been their linchpin for 5 or 6 years. I still don't put it past Cleary to just step up, take more control of the team, and
they're also waiting for finals. So hold on, let's just go through it. So most recently, they lost by 6 points to the Panthers. Before that, they lost to the Red Hot Warriors whilst the Warriors still had Metcalf. Then before that, they spanked the Raiders. Before that, they beat the Spirited Eels. Before that, they lost by 2 points to the Broncos, who were fighting for their season. Before that, they beat the Broncos, and they lost to the Cowboys, and they lost to the Titans. So actually,
not good.
Their form against top 8 teams is pretty good, though. I think that stat you sent through, Boldo, from Dan Ganane, remember? I think Panthers is pretty good. Yeah, Panthers against top 8 pretty good.
5 of the last 8. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's not good form. But I trust.
Do you know what their issue is? Their issue is their 6. So they've been playing with Talangi, so they're bringing Talangi in. Then they're bringing old mate Jack Cogger through. And I don't think they're settled on who should partner Cleary. And it makes it even harder because as soon as you lose Yeo, your structures fall apart. And it'll get better with Lindsay Smith getting a week in reps and things like that to being able to do it. But I think the 6 has been their big issue because when you get a good 6 in there, it then allows Cleary to kind of play the way he wants to play. I think Jack Cogger's a really solid player, but he's not exciting. At least he defends really well. Talangi's got a bit more, playmaking ability, but his defense is horrible. So I think Ivan's got a big pickle in terms of who does he pick at 6, because I reckon if he gets it right, it could unlock them for the finals. If they don't, and they don't get Isaiah back to, the prelim, they're in all sorts in their attack. You could see it against the Roosters. They were terrible in attack. Roosters defense was excellent.
I disagree with that. I thought the Roosters were pretty good in defence.
Yeah, but even Ivan said in the post-match, they just lacked polish, and that's not what you expect.
The Roosters were aggressive. They got off their line. They made
they scrambled. They scrambled, but a good Panthers team would have put on some points instead of 1 try, which was late in the game.
Maybe. I thought our defence was unreal.
The defence was good, but I just think Panthers' attack was ordinary. It was so bad.
Well, the Newcastle Knights, Adrian, roll on. 36-26 point winners over the Titans. I'll give us your rundown on that one, mate.
Rolling to the finals. Hey, rolling to September. Really good first half. Good start to the game. Then some silly errors of the ball, stupid penalties, 6 agains. And then halftime, I think Titans got within a try. Second half was a pretty tight contest. And then Tim and I's favourite man, the old Fletcher Sharp, flying mullet, just broke the game open with 2 tries. You need to win those games at home. Like you said earlier, Boldo, we're pretty close with the Rabbitohs in terms of on the ladder. We want a home final. That's the only way we're going to go deep into this September is get a home final, win that game full of confidence, go into the next game and see if we can create an upset against one of the top 4 teams that don't win. I just think it's a remarkable story in terms of Justin Holbrook. When he was appointed, I'm glad they appointed him because there was talk about I think Blake Green, who was Adam O'Brien's assistant, who I did not want to coach the club because he doesn't have any experience. And he was part of that culture. I think about the biggest turnaround for me being a Knights fan is just culturally that the club seems to have changed dramatically in terms of the playing group. They all know their roles. They're all buying in. And you can kind of see it through Ponga. I've never seen Ponga so invested in the team and so excited about success within the team. So, yeah, massive kudos to Justin Holbrook in terms of what he's done to the club. Like, as being a Knights fan, like, there's optimism. They play an attacking style of football. We were the worst attack under O'Brien for years. It was as bad to say that when we kicked the ball, O'Brien's tactic was to go up and contest, just to tackle the player. That's how bad we were going. So huge turnaround. Let's hope we can get a home final. Needed to win that game. This weekend's a critical game to win. We win this one, we'd likely sew up a home final, hopefully, because the Rabbitohs have got to play the Roosters. So I need Tim's team to do us a little bit of a favour. Then we go to the Warriors away, which will be tough. And then we have a bye. So if we get 2 out of those 3, including the bye, we'll be cherry to the home final.
You got to get one
on the Manly Seagulls and just the absolute death of Fosball. Goodness me, they've fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, I think this game will be tough, a little bit tougher though. I think Manly will come to a point to prove. I think they've fallen off massively. The Cowboys did us no favours by losing against Parra. It was definitely my upset alert, but it still gives Manly a sniff. So Manly's season's not dead. So, but we should take care of them. I think we're a much better team than Manly. We've got a lot more to play for than Manly, and we're at home. We get Best back. I think we get Saifini back as well. No, I know they were woeful. But we get 2 big ins. Bradman Best comes back, and Saifini. So I think it'll be huge.
Turbo, mate. They're like the Sharks. They're missing their best guy. They're done. You can't win without your top guy unless you're the Roosters or the Panthers.
Yeah, but we lost Dylan Brown.
Yeah, you only beat the Titans.
We've had Dylan Brown gone for weeks.
Yeah, but you didn't have him last season.
We beat the Raiders. We beat the Raiders. You didn't.
Yeah, well, we know how good the Raiders are.
We beat Raiders away too. We beat them in the cold, wet of Canberra. Old Raiders came to a sunny Shark Park and still beat you.
That's fair. Tim, what's your take on the hapless now Sea Eagles? Are they done?
Done. Enough said. Gone.
All right, let's move on.
You know what? The one thing I'll say about Manly is they've had some injuries. Obviously, Tom's been out a bit, but you know when it all went south, and I think I actually commented on an earlier podcast. Luke Brooks was in career best form, and once he went down, they didn't look the same.
Yeah, they've got 2 out. Yeah, they're done.
He's playing really well, Brooksy, and for a bloke that's never had any compliments his entire career, I thought this year was his breakout year. So, unfortunate for him, unfortunate for them, couldn't happen to a worse club.
All right, well, Tim's made us put it on the agenda. He sent through when we sent the agenda out. We said, we're going to have to talk about the Dragons. They're 2 from 2. They also almost beat the Dolphins. They also beat the West Tigers 6 weeks ago. They're 3. They're 3 from the last 6.
You know why I wanted to talk about them? Because
you want to make me live through hell again, Tim?
No,
yes.
It's nothing to do with that, mate. It's I spoke about Canterbury changing their season, and look, I know they're still going to miss the 8, but Canterbury made tweaks to improve as a club, and you know what? Next year they'll learn a lot, and they'll probably try and find the right players to to solve that. Now, St. George, at the start of the year, you were looking at them going, it's a 10-year project to get that club competitive again. It's a bit of mail on that, but you know what I mean. And they've managed to blood some youngsters, get a coach who looks like he knows what he's doing, and sign some very good players. You think about their spine next year, it's going to be Drinky. They'll have your man Metcalf, Nicarima as a 6, Kolomatangi on an edge. Now, all of a sudden, that becomes a much better team. The 2 twins, what are they? The Couchman twins?
Couchman.
They're playing good football. What's the other bloody forward they got? It looks like a good player.
Polynesian boy?
No. Anyway, they just look like a team that's going to be on the up next year. And I just like how they've taken what could have been an absolute... Look, we were talking about them being the worst team in history.
Ever.
History, ever. Same thing. And instead, they're going to have a really positive 2027. And how they've got there, they've got to be commended for that. That's why I thought I'd bring it up because, for Dragons fans, you've got a lot to be excited about. Them winning their last 2 games in a row, they have nothing to play for except pride. And you know what? They're playing
They're
good
trying
pride.
to catch the Broncos now, mate.
Well, they are, and they've got a chance because
They need to win all
Young-
3, and the Broncos need to lose all 3.
I know, but you know what? At least they've got some pride in the jersey again. They've got some really bloody good players going.
Were you talking Loco Junior Pacifica Tonga?
No.
That's
No,
who I
Jimmy
think I was referring
That's
to.
what I was thinking. He's a beast. He's good.
I love Tim's optimism, and I think if you're a Dragons fan, you should be optimistic about next season.
Mate, it's just good to see a club struggling have a chance. Go on, give me your
Oh,
hand.
no. I was going to say it's good to see. I think Dean Young's done an amazing job in terms of turning them around because they were woeful.
I agree.
They were getting
They're
belted
still
off
going
the
to finish
park.
last.
No, they'll still finish last, but they were getting belted off the park, and I think he instilled a bit of effort and pride in the jersey, being obviously an old boy as well, which helps. I agree with him. I think
it's actually on the board that the West Tigers could actually finish last.
they probably should. We'll get to that.
But West should look at the Dragons and see how you can build a roster.
But I
Let's
still
look at their
think
contracts and not put a stupid clause in Jerome Luai's contract,
true,
which is absolutely destroyed their entire club.
But that was the only way he was getting to that club. But anyway, we digress. On the Dragons, my thing I was going to say is optimistic about their signings, but they are going to get a lot of new players that have to gel together. So I think next season they will improve a lot. I still don't think they make the 8 though. But lot of optimism based on their signings. Connor Watson's a weird one for a year, but anyway, I'm not their recruitment manager. I wouldn't have signed him. I would have sent him to the Super League for a year to go to PNG. But I think Metcalf, Nicarima, very interesting halves pairing that could be electric. But
let's see how high you think they're going to finish, Adrian. Can the Roosters beat the Dragons next season? Who's higher?
Oh, Roosters.
Yeah, Roosters.
All right, Warriors. Dolphins. Panthers. Sharks. Knights.
Yeah, Knights.
Rabbitohs.
I reckon Dragons are not the Rabbitohs.
Dragons, yeah.
So all right, we got one team so far that they can beat. Cowboys.
Yep, definitely.
Bulldogs.
Yep, definitely.
Dragons.
You guys are pushing. Seagulls.
Dragons.
Yep.
Storm.
No,
Storm.
not next year. Storm come back next year.
Storm people come top 4 next year. No, not Raiders. Not Raiders.
Eels.
Yes.
Yeah.
West Tigers.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Titans.
West will get the spoon next year.
Yes.
Titans. Broncos.
No, not next year.
No.
Bears.
Yes.
So you've got them finishing 10th.
Yeah, it's a big
Well,
improvement.
that's a
from
good
dead last.
improvement. They were looking like they were going to be spooners for the next 5 years, the way they were going.
You got them finishing 10th. So that means, given that you won't be wrong on all of those, because that's the most optimistic outcome you can present, it's on the board that they could get 13th or 14th. That would be a good season for them.
I think they'll get 10th.
And we'll see how they go.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. The Cowboys loss opens the door. Goodness me, this top 8 just doesn't want to get locked down, does it? So the Cowboys, what do they lose? It was a funny ending, controversial end of that game too.
Moses is a gamesman. He plays.
Nah, he is the worst. He's the worst. He's a cheat.
Just go, Boldo. No, you just want to go. Just
Nah,
go.
I just had enough
Just
of
go.
Moses. They just every freaking time when him and Gutherson were together, that was just the worst. Like he's sliding along the ground, and then the guy's hand just happens to hit his head, and then my nose got hurt.
But he's
It's
playing
like,
to
what
the
a freaking-
rules. He's playing
Nah,
to the
mate,
rules.
we're just you're flip flopping. I'm normally where you are, where it's like, oh yeah, the guy you can't hit guys in the head, mate. If you dive into someone's if I go and headbutt your hand, right, because I'm a bullfed and tripped over and dropped the ball, that doesn't mean that it's a head high tackle. There was nothing that guy could do. It was like a handball in soccer when the ball just gets kicked. It was absolutely ridiculous that a game got decided on that. And it was ridiculous again that clown was the reason why a team didn't make the top 8. If Jonathan Thurston was around, he'd be pulling out the conspiracy theories about why the NRL doesn't want the Cowboys to make the 8. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Was it the right call or not?
I don't think it was.
Was it the right call
No,
or
you're
not?
using my own material on me. You got hit in the head.
Within the rules, it was.
Correct. It was the right
You guys
call.
have flipped.
No. All I'm saying is
now, is it unlucky? Absolutely. But it was the right
We had
call.
this argument. I was on the other side, and you two were arguing with me weeks ago.
Right call. Move on.
All right. So
I thought he
on.
played within the rules. Was there gamesmanship in his decision? Absolutely. Has he done it multiple times? Yes. But I agree. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with the gamesmanship.
The amount of time the Panthers in the Roosters game kept going, my head, and it got let go because they were cheating and they were trying to get penalties that the Roosters hadn't even committed.
I'm all for protecting the head, Boldo, and I think that's important. However, I agree with Tim. They've got to stop letting players lie down and fake like they've been absolutely smashed with a glass. Like, come on, it's not.
Well, if you lay down like you've been smashed like a glass, then you need to go off.
That's what should happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to go off for HIA.
If you're that sore and you're weary, and then all of a sudden you get the penalty, and you spring your set. Nah, you know what? Independent doctor, put you in the.
The independent doctor's got to look at you.
That
would change it.
For another segment, is La Liga's changed all these rules now. So if you look them up, so if you roll on the floor for a period of time, they punch you off, and if you take too long, you lose like another player off the field. So they're trying to crack down on players rolling around and milking time. So they've basically gone super hard on it. I'd love the NRL to do something.
Imagine the NRL did that. That would just be.
Well, they did it in the Premier League years ago to make it better.
Not a bad idea.
Obviously, football was a lot worse with it, but I'm telling you what, rugby league now, it happens every set. Someone tries to hold their head and stay down,
All right, well, the NRL top 8, just to update everyone. So reminder, the Sharks are in 5th place on 32 points. The Knights 32, Rabbitohs 30, the Cowboys 28. So they're the last team in the 8th. Then the Bulldogs on 26 points, the Seagulls on 24. Equal with the Storm on 24. So, the Seagulls and the Storm, they're gone. And the Raiders, they smell.
Agree.
Yeah. They.
Sorry, what was that? Who's gone?
Maybe the Storm and the Raiders could do it if they would need a miracle.
No, I don't think they can. I think Cowboys have a bye this weekend. So Cowboys get the automatic 2.
Yeah, Cows have only got 2 games because there's Newcastle, Cows, and I think, is it Canberra that have the buys?
Yeah, the Cowboys are going to get in. The Bulldogs have got the Dragons, the Panthers, and the Broncos. And even if they win all 3 of those, that still may not actually be enough because that gets them to 32. Well, actually, 32 has traditionally been enough. Correct. So I don't expect them to win. They'll lose to the Panthers, so they'll get to 30 points. The Bulldogs will finish 9th. The Cowboys will be 8th. The top 8 is done, as we predicted the other week, 5 weeks ago. And I'm going to say it to you now, boys. The Sharks will still finish in the top 4. Because
can anyone fire a shot outside the top 4?
No.
I think Newcastle
could. Yeah, I think if we get a home final and we play a wounded Sharks who lose in the first finals.
Yeah, but for that, you'd have to be fifth.
That's true.
You have to be fifth.
That's
I
true.
think Newcastle could cause a bit of trouble outside of that.
I want to play.
Obviously, the Dolphins and the Sharks, whoever ends up finishing fifth out of those two. But yeah, I can't see
the fifth place team could beat the fourth place team.
If we get to the second week, I want to play the Warriors in New Zealand. That's what I want.
Mate, you'll get flogged by 50.
Nah. All the pressure on the Warriors, they lose. All the pressure.
No, I'm really high.
Break the game open.
No,
I want the Warriors in second week.
Segment that we
You
have.
won't score a try against the Warriors.
We'll be all right.
You won't.
All right. Next segment on our list is. I don't know why we put this one in. We're talking about this again. Who gets fired first, Maguire or Benji?
I just wanted to bring this back up because you were so high on your man Benji, and we already knew Mattress in the shit. Like literally, we knew Mattress gone. Paynehouse was leaving. They were sinking ship, and your mate Benji. What's going on? They might not win a game for the rest of the year. I heard, I could have been wrong, but he wants to do at the end of the season like a survey, Benji, to see what's working and what isn't working. I may have heard that on Kenty's podcast.
Is this corporate Australia?
Like, what is going on? This isn't The Apprentice.
Another 360, please.
What do you like? What do you dislike? All right, so the Tigers have got the Roosters, the Cowboys.
What is it? Stop, start, continue.
It is on the board that the Tigers don't win another game, actually.
Do you think, like, what? That club, that poor club and their supporters, what is going on?
Yeah, so actually, if the Dragons don't win the Spoon, then the Tigers will win the Spoon because the Broncos and the Titans are going to win another game and they will overtake the Tigers. So,
who are the Tigers
and if the Dragons win all 3 games, they will also overtake the Tigers on for and against. So it's on the board. Let's go check out that odds now. West Tigers.
Are they going
to the Spoon again?
I think they're going to lose all 3. Because the Cows will be desperate.
West Tigers are priced at 56-1 to finish last.
I'll take $20 on that.
I think it's a terrific bet.
Hang on, who have the Dragons got?
The Dragons have got the Bulldogs, the Eagles, and the Eels. The Dragons can win all 3 of those, and according to you guys, they're finishing above all of those teams on the table next season.
Yeah, they will.
I think their for and against might hurt him
because the Dragons are minus 263 and the West Tigers are minus 213. So if the West Tigers lose all 3 of those games and the Dragons win all 3, they'll catch up those points.
I don't think the Dragons. I don't think the Dragons beat the Bulldogs. That would be my only worry.
Yeah, no, the Dragons aren't going to win all their games.
All right, well, let's bring it back. Who gets fired first, lads? And why is it? Who do you think it is, Adrian, first, and why?
Who do I want to be, or who do I think it's going to be?
Who do you think? Oh, you don't wish anyone getting fired. That's just me.
No, you don't wish anyone to get fired. I actually think, Ed, I think you guys were high on it. I think Madge gets fired first.
Yeah, Maguire. All right, Tim?
Yeah, I think they'll be loyal to Benji. So, yeah, Madge.
I think it's on the board. Yep.
No, you go.
I was going to say, I think it's on the board that I think if it's a firings, I think Maguire gets fired first. But I think it's actually on the board that Benji just walks and says, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, you could be right.
So that could happen before Maguire gets sacked. But Maguire's gone at the end of the season. There'll be some sort of weird player revolt or something.
I got a weird feeling that Maguire will get the chance to coach next year. I think that it'll depend on his first 5 rounds. Benji will probably get the same opportunity. I think they're kind of in the same boat.
Benji will get a whole season.
I think Maguire's coaching for his season the next 3 weeks because their performance against the Warriors was absolutely.
I don't think it matters even if he wins all 3. He's gone.
No, I think if they have big losses again,
who did they bring in?
Kevy.
You reckon
That's
Kevy
all right.
back?
Kevy would take it back in a heartbeat.
I'll go Brad Arthur or someone like that.
Yeah, but Brad Arthur's probably a bit too similar to Madge. A bit of a Tasman. I don't know. Like, who's the up and coming coaches? Maybe
Cameron Smith, Darren Lockyer.
Smithy, Billy Slater, or Kingy.
What the
I
New
didn't
South
put it in
Wales
the
team?
agenda. Billy leaving. I missed that.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Billy Slater is departing Queensland with an 8-7 record, 3 series win, 2 losses. Yeah, you always feel like his record's better than that, but
Yeah,
I'm surprised that he's leaving, given that he's not dominated. I guess the New South Wales team has been better and has had Nathan Cleary in it, and he's won 3 of 5 series. Pretty good.
I think he
What do
was
you
very
make of it?
disappointed. I think he was very disappointed in the way the series ended this year. I think he thought he had the team to win it, and I don't think he thought
He
New
did have
South
the team
Wales
to
had
win
a
it. They lost
chance.
because of the
Yeah.
send-off.
the old-fashioned ambush.
That's it. And I just think he looked distraught after the game in the change rooms, like lost for answers. And I do think that there's smoke, there's fire. I think he's going to coach Melbourne. Like, I think that's the rumours. He's saying no. Cam Smith said no. Billy's not going to do it. I reckon he's a odds-on money to replace Bellamy, and I think he becomes an assistant next year, and then I think he takes over the reins.
Yeah, I agree.
And I know they're trying to cause a bit of separation between Queensland and then him taking the Melbourne job, but I guarantee you in the off-season there'll be something about welcoming Billy into the club, and he'll do it. I just think there's smoke. I know he loves Channel 9, but I'm pretty sure if Melbourne said, Billy, we need you, he would do it in a heartbeat. He loves that club.
All right, well, we'll watch this space with great interest. Another space that gets watched with great interest is the hottest segment in all of NRL sports entertainment.
This is Upset Alert! Upset Alert! Don't say we didn't warn you! Upset Alert!
That's right, it's Upset Alert, the hottest segment in all of NRL sports entertainment. Last week, 3 from 3. And we're going to track it from now on because we're 3 from 3. So why wouldn't we start tracking it from this point on? It is Upset Alert, where we give you an alert. It's not a tip, it's an alert. Something for you to think about if you want to get on it and bet. Last week we were 3 from 3. This week, I'm going to go first, lads. Quite frankly, because I really like my Upset Alert this week. And I'm going to give you that the Eels are going to beat the Dolphins in Brisbane at $4.10. The Eels have got a good record up in Brisbane. Traditionally, they've got a lot of fans up there. The Dolphins are going to get nervous. They're also going to be complacent because they're going to think they're in the 4. They're going to be looking ahead to the game against the Roosters. And what got done to the Sharks with complacency is going to happen to the Dolphins. So I've got the Eels to beat the Dolphins. Boys, we'll come back and get your tips on that match and your reaction to my Upset Alert in your individual tips. Tim, what have you got for Upset Alert?
Tough week this week for an Upset Alert. But I'm going to go Melbourne over the Panthers. I think that's the best. Do I think that they will win? No, but it's the best Upset Alert going through the form here. It's a difficult week for Upset Alert.
Adrian, what you got?
I agree, Tim. It's not easy. I was tempted to go to the Titans just to add more misery to your Sharks pain, Boldo. However, as much as I don't want to do it, I think because it hurts Newcastle's season, I think the Rabbitohs can beat the Warriors. I know you're super high on the Warriors, but I think, I don't know, Warriors don't travel that well. And Bennett, you know what he's like. He's got the magic dust or the magic sprinkle. They'll be up for it. And
they've got a fair few players back south. Yeah.
Is Latrell back or not?
No, I don't think so yet. But
all right, we'll preview that match in a second. All right, let's go from the top. So the aforementioned Storm versus Panthers match, Thursday, 7:50 p.m, played down at Melbourne. Tim has got the Panthers on Upset Alert.
Yeah, but I still think the Panthers will win.
Still think the Panthers are going to win. So you think it might be a scare, it might be close?
Yeah.
I think Panthers will do it comfortably.
Yeah, I think the Panthers beat them.
Right.
The Panthers beat them. All right, next up, Friday, 6 p.m. They've got the Raiders playing the Broncos.
I
Raiders
did
on
look at
Sport.
this as an
Yep.
upset alert. But then I think it's Big Papa's last home game for Canberra. I think they're
Might be
renaming the
nice.
stadium Big Papa. So I was like, no
Are
chance
they?
Raiders win that. Yeah.
Raiders.
Known as Big Papa.
Broncos are cooked.
Yeah, the Broncos are cooked. The Raiders are winning that one. All right, on to the next. We've got the Dolphins and the Eels. Baldo, yours truly has given the Eels as a tip to beat the Dolphins. Tim, why am I an idiot?
Do I have
Just
to
in
explain
relation
that?
to this tip. Just in relation to this.
Because the fins are flying. Dolphins.
Dolphins. Makeup.
Dolphins.
So you don't give any credence to my upset alert. You think I'm a fool.
No, it's one of the worst ones of the year.
Fair enough. All right, Knights and Sea Eagles. I think the Knights will do them. The Sea Eagles are done.
Yeah, I think so.
I can't see that one to being anything there. The Rabbitohs and the Warriors. I think the Warriors will be too professional for them, even without a halfback. They'll be fine week one without a halfback.
You'll see how good the Wars defense is in that game.
Yeah, Tim's still talking about the Wars defense.
They'll frustrate the players out of that game.
I think Souths win. I'll tip them.
So you're going to tip South to win as well, Adrian.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Then we've got. I'm surprised that none of us took the Dragons over the Bulldogs as an upset alert.
No, I think
Bulldogs season's still alive. That's the thing. They got something to play for. You get what I mean? Dragons, yeah, they've been improving, and the Bulldogs weren't great against Souths on the weekend.
Yeah, it's a funny game though. They were never in it, but they're never out of it. I still think Canterbury were too good for Dragons. Yeah,
I'm tipping Dragons. Dragons will beat them. Should have made that my upset alert. Maybe I do the fourth one for you. Titans play the Sharks, 15th versus 5th. Please, I just can't. I don't think I can fathom another Sharks loss to the Titans.
Well, no, just look. I don't think it's going to happen. But prepare us if you lose to the Titans.
We're not doing a podcast.
It's to you.
Oh God! Please, no, don't do it.
No.
upset alert.
Are you going to tip the Sharks or the Titans, Adrian?
Nah, Sharks.
Tim? Sharks will win. Sharks will win that one. And then what have we got last? The Roosters and the West Tigers. Tim, the West Tigers, any chance?
Bloody hope
What
not.
start would you give him, Tim? What start would you give him?
Well, because the Tigers are at $5.80. Right?
I reckon they need a 40.
For me to put a bet on the Tigers in that game, I'd have to get 150 to 1. That's when it'd make sense. For one of the great Hail Marys. They are not winning 1 in 6 of those games. Let's face it. That's what the odds are saying. They're not winning 1 in 6. They won't win 1 in 100 the way they're playing.
Well, it's saying that they win 1 in 5.8.
All right, man. Thanks for getting really specific. It's called rounding up.
Yeah.
5.8.
I don't think they're even 1 in 5.8.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not winning. They're absolutely no chance. Roosters will spank them by 50 plus. Adrian?
Yeah, I think it's going to be an ugly afternoon for Benji.
And it's even the Channel 9 game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Why do they like the Tigers for Channel 9 fans?
Because when they're going good, they actually rate well, but it's not. Yeah, not been good.
Yeah,
I reckon it's going to be 30 plus, easy.
30 plus, easy. All right, heard it here first. All right, boys, pretty subdued episode of the Down the Sideline podcast this week. We're kind of just treading water until the finals, aren't we?
Yeah, it's a bit different being at home. Sorry, I've been sick all day.
Well, we also argued for the last 20 minutes of last week's show. If you missed it, go listen to that. It's hilarious.
It's great.
Yeah,
It's like
in person's a bit more aggressive and throwing more shit on each other. Virtually, it's different, but it still gets the job done.
Still gets the job done, indeed. All right, boys. Well, thanks for coming in. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far in the Down the Sideline podcast, we'll see you guys next week at 8:30 p.m. Looking forward to getting our first comment live on the show on YouTube, or if you listen to us on delay only on Spotify and all those other good places. Good to have you along. All right, guys, up the Sharks, go the Roosters, go the Knights. Get out and watch an NRL match this weekend. We'll see you guys next week. See ya.
There was.